Hello guys, let we continue the first unit. Now we are going to see regarding food adulteration, food standard, basal metabolic rate and calories. First, food adulteration. Food adulteration is nothing but addition of non-permitted foreign matter to a food or the removal of certain ingredients from the food is called as food adulteration. Food adulteration is nothing but addition of non-permitted foreign matters, or else we are going to remove the certain ingredients from the food. It is called as food adulteration. There are two types of food adulteration, that is intentional food adulteration, incidental food adulteration. Intentional food adulteration. Intentional. What do you mean by intention? Intention is nothing but purposefully. So wantedly or else purposefully we are going to add some of the non-permitted foreign matters. That is called as intentional food adulteration. It is a purposeful act done by the adulterator. Okay. See here, I mentioned V. V is nothing but adulterators. Those who are adding the non-permitted foreign matters, to them we will call it as a adulterator. So here, purposefully or wantedly, the adulterator is intentionally adding some of the foreign matters, that to non-permitted foreign matters. That is called as intentional food adulteration. Example, use of excess water in the milk or else any excessive colors. Okay, that is called as intentional food adulteration. Next is incidental adulteration. Incidental adulteration is nothing but it happens due to the lack of knowledge or carelessness or lack of facilities. Example, pesticides, germ infestation, etc. Okay, this is the incidental. Without their knowledge or else due to the carelessness or due to the lack of facilities, the adulteration will be done. That is called as incidental adulteration. Okay, this food adulteration is a important question. We may expect for 2 or 5 marks. So, food adulteration is nothing but addition of non-permitted foreign matters. Next, moving on to the food standards. Food standards. To maintain the quality of the food and prevent adulteration, every country is regulating some of the food regulatory frameworks. Okay, to maintain the quality of the food and to prevent the adulteration, all the countries will be maintaining some of the standards. That is called as food standards. See here, the food standards are something that are set up by the experts or an authority for measuring the quantity, weight, extent, value and quality of a food substances. To measure the quality, quantity and value and weight of the food substances, we are going to frame some of the standards. That is called as food standards. Okay, the India Food Safety and Standard Authority of India is there. FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of the India, has been established under the Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. Next, what are the list of standards are there means? These are the some of the list of standards. Bureau of Indian Standard, we will call it as a BSI, in the year 1986. AGMARK standard in the year 1937. Fruit Products Order, FPO will call, in the year 1955. Milk and Milk Products Order, MMPO, in the year 1972. Meat Products Order, MPO, in the year 1937. Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, PFA, in the year 1955. These are the some of the standards. First one is Bureau of Indian Standard, BSI. The Indian Standard Institute is responsible for laying the BSI. Okay, the Indian Standard Institute is the responsible for the BSI. These standards are evolved after the chemical, biological and physical assessment of the products. See here, this standard is there, no, BSI standard. This standard is taken up by the ISI, Indian Standards Institute, and in this standard they are going to evaluate the chemical, biological and physical assessment they are doing before the releasing that product into the marketing. The BSI undertakes a various quality certification activity and provides a ISI mark. You can observe this mark. See, this is the ISI mark. Okay, this is the ISI mark. If you are taking some of the food particles or anything, you can observe ISI mark over that. If the ISI mark is there, means it indicates that it is a standardized one and it is a evolved by the ISI. Okay, it is evaluated by the ISI and they have given a certificate for maintaining the quality. These articles will cover in the vegetables, biscuits, sweets, flavor tea, coffee and other beverages. Okay, this ISI will be covers the vegetables, biscuits, sweets, flavors, teas, coffee and other beverages. The food articles that have ISI mark on them have a guarantee of food quality. If we are identifying the ISI mark on the food articles, means it shows that it is maintaining the good quality. Next, moving on to the AGMARK standard. The AGMARK standard is a certification mark employed to agricultural products in India. Okay, this is the certification mark employed to a agricultural product. The present AGMARK standard cover a quality guidelines for 205 different commodities including the cereals, eggs, etc. The classification of various foods according to their quality such as grade 1 special quality, grade 2 good, grade 3 fair, grade 4 ordinary. You can observe this is the seal the AGMARK standard will be providing, and here we are going to cover the AGMARK standard is going to cover the agricultural products. Next, fruit product order standard. Fruit products. Here the word itself it is showing fruits. Okay, this standard will be giving a certification for the fruit and fruit products. See, the main objective of this is to lay down the quality standard to the manufacturer fruit and vegetable products, maintaining a sanitary and hygienic. It's a mandatory for all the manufacturers to obtain the license of fruit and vegetable product, including some non-fruit products like a vinegar, syrup, sweetened water, etc. Minimum requirement according to this standards are location and surrounding of the factory. What is the where the location will be there and how the surroundings of the factory will be there. The location should not disturb any public, as well as the surroundings should have a hygienic condition, sanitary and hygienic condition, personal hygiene inside the factory, portability of the water should be proper, product standards, the quality they have to maintain, limit for preservatives and other additives. Okay, they should not use more preservatives and additives. If they are using more preservatives, it will be harmful to the human beings. So there will be a limit in the use of preservatives and additives. Next, milk and milk product orders. This order covers the sale, purchase and distribution of the milk and milk products. According to this order, any persons or a plant handling more than 10,000 liters milk per day needs to register with the registering authority appointed by a central government. Okay, here if any person or any plant means don't think that it is a plant like what we are growing plant. that is not a plant. Plant is nothing but like a example, if you are taking means Nandini plant, means Nandini milk dairy is there, no, for that we will call it as a Nandini plant. So any person or a plant, those who are handling more than the 10,000 liters of milk per day, either may be selling or else may be purchasing or any processing means, they need to register with a registering authority appointed by a central government. The registration number shall label of such milk container a tin etc. are printed permanently. Next, meat food products order. Processing of meat products is licensed under the meat food product order, which was implemented by Ministry of Food Processing Industries. This order covers the quality of packing, repacking, labeling meat food products meant for the sale. By checking all the above, this order will provide the license to the manufacturer. This order, this standard is the meat food product order. They will check the quality of the meat and meat products. Okay, they will check the how they are packing, how they are sending, what is the real labeling. Okay, those things they will check. They will check for the quality and they will give a license. Next is Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. This act was formulated to make a provision for the prevention of adulteration of food and water. This was done in the year 1986. According to this act, the food is considered as adulterated if it fulfills the following, like if the food is obtained from the decomposed or from deceased animal. If the food is obtained from the decomposed is nothing but already spoiled, okay, or else any diseased animal or insect, okay, infected, or if it is unfit for the human consumption, means that is considered as a food adulterated. Next, if food contains any other substance which affects the injuriously the nature, substance or a quality of the food. If the food contains any other substance, okay, which will affect the quality of the food. I will tell you one best example. If you are seeing a like a papaya seeds, they will add into the pepper seeds. Okay, papaya seeds and pepper seeds will resemble same. So because of that reason, what they will do means, instead of a pepper seed, they will mix the pepper seeds with the papaya seeds and they will sell. Okay, because the papaya seeds will be the nothing, there is no cost for the papaya seeds, but the pepper seeds will be very high in rate. So they will mix both together and they will sell to the public. Okay, so that is also one of the food adulteration. Next, if the food is kept under the insanitary condition, okay, if the food is kept in a insanitary condition, not maintaining the hygienic properly, and it may be contaminated with any injurious to the health, that is called as insanitary condition, then that is also will called as a food adulteration. Next, if product contains any poisonous or other ingredients which renders it injurious to the health, okay, if the food products contains any poisonous item, means that is also one of the food adulteration. Next, if the products contains excessive preservatives and coloring substances. If the products having a excessive preservative or any coloring substances, means it is also one of the additive only. Next, if the quality falls below the standards, then we will consider it as a food adulteration. According to this act, sale is prohibited in case of milk which contains added water, means according to the act, this act, like a Prevention and Food Adulteration Act, according to this act, the sale is prohibited. Okay, the sale is prohibited. Prohibited means they should not sell. So in which cases the sale is prohibited, means milk which contains added water, mixture of more edible oils, food which contains any artificial sweetener behind the prescribed limit, curd not made with the milk, milk products contain constituent other than the milk, turmeric containing any other foreign substances. Okay, if they are doing these things, okay, if the adulterators are doing like such a things, means it is a prohibited to sell these products. Next, if even though there is a some of the standards, but if they are not following that, what will be the punishment? Means according to the act, a minimum imprisonment of 6 months with a minimum fine of 1000 rupees is charged. If adulteration causes a death, then they will be punishable for lifetime imprisonment and can be fined up to 10 lakh. Okay, this is the punishment they will be giving. So far we have seen regarding food adulteration and food standards. Okay, food adulteration is important topic. I'll repeat it once again. See, food adulteration is nothing but adding a non-permitted foreign matters. That is called as food adulteration. What are the different types? Means there are two types: intentional food adulteration, incidental food adulteration. Intentional means purposefully the adulterators are adding some of the non-edible or non-permitted foreign matters into the food. That is called as intentional. Incidental means it just happens because of lack of knowledge, carelessness or lack of facilities. Next, the food standard. To prevent the food adulteration, the government of India has taken some of the standards to maintain the quality, weight and extent and to maintain the measurement also. Okay, quality, quantity, values, everything over the food. That is called as food standard. Okay, what are the different food standards are there in India? Means Bureau of Indian Standard, AGMARK standard, Fruit Products Order, Milk and Milk Product Order, Meat Products Order, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. Next, in the Bureau of Indian Standard, it was taken by the Indian Standard Institution. This is the seal. When we are observing this seal, it indicates that, see, you can observe this seal, ISI. Okay, this is the mark or a seal the ISI will be providing over the food. Okay, which type of food they are covering? Means vegetables, biscuits, sweets and tea, coffee and other beverages they will be covering. If we are observing this seal over the food products, means it indicates that they have maintained the quality, good quality. Next, AGMARK standard. This is the AGMARK seal. So, AGMARK standard mainly they are giving for the agricultural product, and according to this standard they have given the 4 grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 and grade 4. Next, fruit product order standard. Here mainly they are concentrating on the fruit and vegetables. This standard is mainly concentrating on the quality of the food, fruits and vegetables, and also non-fruit products like a vinegar, syrup and sweetened water also. And minimum requirement according to this standard like location and surrounding, sanitation, personal hygiene and portability of the water, product standards and limit of preservatives. Next, milk and milk product order, they are mainly concentrating on the milk quality. Then meat food product order, they are concentrating on the meat, how they are packing, how they are sending, what is the reliability, what is the quality, that they are concentrating. Next, Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. This is the act taken in the year, this is the act done in the year 1986, and it is formulated to make a provision for prevention of adulteration of food. And some of the list they have given, like which and all they will consider as a adulterated, they have given, you can go through it. And punishment, what is the punishment? Means for the adulteration, imprisonment for the 6 months and with a fine of 1000, and in case if because of that adulteration if any death happens, means they have to pay for a 10 lakhs fine, and as well as they have to be lifetime in jail. Next, moving on to the basal metabolic rate. See, this BMR, basal metabolic rate, is there no BMR? So this basal metabolic rate, same thing will be there in the energy unit also. Okay, in that unit also it will come, basal metabolic rate. So you just concentrate here in that unit, we are just brush up. Basal metabolic rate is the amount of energy required to carry out the basic voluntary work. Okay, the amount of energy required to carry the voluntary work, involuntary work, when the body is at rest. When the body is at rest, okay, the amount of energy required to carry out the involuntary work, that is called as basal metabolic rate. Okay, about 70% of energy used every day is due to the our organ functioning to keep us alive and healthy. The remaining 30% is broken down into digestion of food, energy needed for the activity. Okay, see, 70% of energy what we are taking, what we are consuming, in that 70% of energy will be utilized by our organs. Example, I'll tell you, just when we are simply sitting also, our mind will be working, our heart will be working, our lungs will be working, and whatever the organs which are present inside, okay, those things are we keep on working without knowing to us, they will be working. We don't see, if even when we are sleeping also, all the organs which are inside will be working. For that working, what is the amount of energy required, that is called as basal metabolic rate. 70% of energy is used every day for the basal metabolic rate, and 30% of the energy will be used for the activity. BMR calculation. See, in the women, how they will be calculating the BMR means, BMR is equal to, there is a formula, this is the formula we have to see, 655, BMR is equal to 655 plus 9.6 into weight in kilos plus 1.8 into height in centimeters minus 4.7 into age in the year. This is the formula to calculate the BMR. Example, if the woman is 32 years old and the height is 152 centimeters and the weight is 50 kgs, then the BMR is, see, I will implement this age, height and weight to this formula. You just see here, 655 plus 9.6 into weight, no, what is the weight of that woman? 50 kgs. So I will write 50 here, plus 1.8 into height in centimeters. So height of the woman is 152 centimeters. So I will write here, minus 4.7 into age in years. 4.7 into 32 years old, no, so 32 years. And when we are doing a mathematics like a 655 plus 9.6 into 50 is 480, 273.6 minus 150.4. And again, if you are doing the addition of these three, this much will come, 1408.6 and minus this one, 150.4. So final answer will be 1258.2 calories per day. Okay, the basal metabolic rate of a woman of age 32 years old, 152 centimeter and 50 kgs weight. For that woman, the BMR rate will be 1258.2 calories she need for the basal metabolic rate per day. Same like that here for the men, here the formula is 66 plus 13.7 into weight in kilos plus 5 into height in centimeter minus 6.8 into age in years. Okay, and I have given the example also, you just go through it. See here, 35 years old, height is 162 centimeter and weight is 80 kgs. So BMR is equal to 66 plus 13.7 into 80 plus 5 into 162 minus 6.8 into 35. Final answer is 1821.6 calories per day. Next, moving on to the factors affecting the basal metabolic rate. What are the factors means? Age, sex, weight, body size, climate, race, body temperature, diet, hormones, muscle mass, habit, drugs, environmental factor, stress. These are the factors affecting the basal metabolic rate. We will see one by one. First is the age. The BMR is greater during the first few years of life. Later it gradually falls throughout the life. See, the BMR, basal metabolic rate, will be greater during the first few years of the life, and later as the age is progressing, the BMR rate also will be keep on decreasing. Next, sex. Males have 2 to 12% more than the females. Okay, the BMR rate for the male will be more than the female, and in case of females, the BMR rate will be more during a menstrual cycle and it will be less after the menstruation. Next, moving on to the climate. BMR will be low in the tropics area when comparing to the high temperature area. Race is the minor factor affecting the BMR. It is a negligible factor. Okay, it is not that much important factor. The Chinese having a less BMR than the Americans. Next, body temperature. If the temperature increases, the BMR also increases. For every rise of degree Fahrenheit, there will be an increasing of 7% of BMR. Okay. Next, diet. Vegetarian have a 11% less BMR than the non-vegetarians. The BMR decreases with a decreased food intake. When we are taking a less food, less BMR will be there. If we are taking a high food, high BMR rate will be there. Next, hormones. Thyroid hormone, adrenal and non-adrenal hormones will increases the BMR rate. Next, muscle mass. Individual with the more muscles will burn more calories and result in a more BMR. Okay, if the muscles are more for the persons, for that person burning of calories also will be more. So, because of excessive burning of calories, BMR rate also will be increased. Next, habit. Individual with more physical activity will have more BMR than the person those who are less physical activity. Next, moving on to the drug. Caffeine, nicotine and benzodrine increases the BMR rate in the body. Next is body size. People with a bigger body size have a greater BMR because they usually have a larger internal organs and fluid volume to maintain. So, because of that reason, the body size increases means automatically the BMR rate also will be increased. Next, environmental factor. If the weather is very cold or hot, then the body has to work harder to maintain its normal temperature. So, to maintain the normal temperature, in case of very hot and very cold weather, the body will work more. So, because of working more, there will be a increasing of BMR. Next, stress. Stress increases the production of stress hormone. That leads to increasing of heart rate, respiratory rate to meet the needs of the body metabolism. So, it will increases the body metabolism and increasing the BMR. Next, moving on to the calories. Calories is a unit of energy. For every body activity, body needs a energy which derives from the food that we consume. Okay, so calories is a unit of energy. Okay, calorie is one of the unit of the energy. For every body activity, we need energy. So, whatever the activity may be, for talking also we need a energy, right? So, for every body activity, we need a energy. From where that energy we will be coming means from the food what we are taking. The caloric requirement of the body depends on the age, weight, activity and metabolic rate. From the intake of energy through the food, the body uses only the amount it is needed for the energy purpose. The remainder it will be stored as a fat. If the adult consumes more calories than the daily requirement, then she or he will gain a weight. If consumption is less, then the recommended daily requirement of the body will be supplement its energy source by drawing upon the stored fat, and the person will lose the weight. See here, if the energy what we are taking, if we are taking excessive energy more than the requirement, daily requirement, if we are taking means, then it will be stored as a fat and the person will gain the weight. If we are taking a less amount of food and less calorie intake is there means, then our body will utilize the stored fat for the energy, then they will go for the loss of weight. Okay, so far we have seen regarding the food adulteration, then food standards, how to prevent the adulteration we have seen, and basal metabolic rate we have seen. This BMR is also a very important topic. Basal metabolic rate is nothing but the amount of energy required when the body is at rest. Don't think that rest means only the sleeping. Rest means even when we are sitting, when we are sitting, the organs which are present inside like a heart, liver, lungs and brain, everything need a energy to do the work. Okay, even though when we are sleeping, only physically we are sleeping, but internal organs will be keep on working. So for that, per day, how much amount of energy is required to do the work when we are at rest, that is called as BMR, basal metabolic rate. Okay, see, basal metabolic rate, how to calculate. The formula is there for the women separately and for the men separately, formula is there. And what are the factors affecting the basal metabolic rate? We have seen like age, sex, weight, body size, climate, race, body temperature, diet, hormones, muscle mass, habit, drugs, environmental factor and a stress. Keep in mind, same topic it will be repeated in the energy unit. Just I will brush up there. Okay, so I have explained in the first unit regarding the basal metabolic rate, but in the energy unit just we will brush up the topic. Okay, so far we have seen this one, and I hope you all